They say the world watches, but does nothing. When injustice spreads like wildfire, when the cries of the oppressed echo unanswered, how long before the heavens respond? Myanmar was not prepared for what came next. Since 2021, the nation's Christian communities have faced relentless persecution. Chin, Kaya, and Kachin states, strongholds of Christian believers, became battlegrounds of oppression. Churches burned, pastors executed, congregations scattered into the jungles. Thousands of faithful believers were either imprisoned or forced to flee, hiding in remote areas while the world remained silent. But silence does not go unnoticed. On March 28, 2025, Myanmar trembled violently. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck the Sagaing region near Mandalay. Entire structures collapsed, including prisons and detention centers, where persecuted Christians were likely held. What happened to them? We don't know. With Myanmar's fragile infrastructure in ruins and communication systems crippled, the fate of these imprisoned believers remains a mystery. Were they released in the chaos? Were they buried beneath the rubble? We also cannot ignore Thailand's recent crackdown on Montagnard Christian refugees. In February 2025, Thai authorities arrested over 60 Christian refugees in Bangkok. These believers, seeking safety after fleeing persecution in Vietnam, found themselves imprisoned in overcrowded facilities. But Thailand's fragile infrastructure, combined with its proximity to Myanmar, raises critical questions. The seismic ripples from Myanmar may have impacted detention centers and refugee camps across national borders. Could these tremors have affected holding centers in Thailand? What about detention facilities in neighboring regions like Syria and Yemen, where Christian persecution is rampant? What became of the imprisoned Christians across these regions? Were they freed by the chaos, or did their suffering deepen amid the turmoil? These questions remain unanswered, leaving us to ponder the unseen consequences of this catastrophe. When Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek, Matthew 5:39, he wasn't endorsing passive submission. He was pointing toward a spiritual reckoning, a truth that resonates through the chaos of today. In nations like Myanmar, Thailand, and even in regions such as Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh in India, Christian persecution continues to rise. Yet, when the world ignores the suffering of God's people, divine intervention may come in forms beyond human comprehension. As the dust settles over Myanmar, one thing is clear. We may never fully understand what happened, but in the aftermath of this disaster, one question lingers. What happens when nations continue to persecute God's people?